Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. And today, for your Sunday series, it is PtitDrogo versus Lambo in a best of 5 from WCS Winter, the European version. Top right-hand corner is the red Protoss player PtitDrogo, and in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Zerg player Lambo. Alright, so these two players know each other extraordinarily well. They've just played against each other all the time in WCS events and just on the ladder. They're both on the European ladder. And it's just going to be an incredibly fun time here for both of these players. Now, the question is, who's going to come out on top? I don't know. It's PvZ. People say that Z is a little bit favored in this matchup, but I think PtitDrogo might be the bit of a better player. However, that does not mean he's going to win. Recent games that I've cast have really exemplified the fact that just because one player is better than the other one, according to the standings, according to the win-loss records, it doesn't mean that they're going to win every single match these two players play against each other for here until all time. It's not how that works. Anyway, back at the game here, PtitDrogo does block off the natural expansion attempt here of Lambo, forcing him to take his third, and nothing too crazy here. Lambo's done this about 8,000 times. Protoss like to block that expansion. Pool does go down. Probe sees the timing on that. Says, all right, so not going to be a 3-hatch before Pool, which would honestly be pretty much suicide against somebody like PtitDrogo. Just the French Protoss player is extremely good at this game. And he's going to go ahead. And he's not going to bother. He's not going to bother with his Zealot. He doesn't need anything quite yet. He saw the Pool timing. He saw that it's not on its way. It's like halfway done almost there, so you can go into the expansion and then the Cyber Core and still have time to get an Adept out to hold that line against any number of Lings that are going to come and try to kill you later on. Now, Overlord says, alright, are there any pylons coming up here? I don't really have any information what PtitDrogo goes up to otherwise. This could, for all I know, be a Forge Fast Expand or some kind of a Forge First Play. But no, it's definitely not. Just very standard play here from PtitDrogo back home. We'll see what happens after that Cybernetics Core is done. But basically, some Lings are on the way. Yep, some Lings are now on the way to try to deal with this annoying probe down here. The drone's just transferring up to the third base. No big deal. Takes us a bit longer to get down there to get the harvesting happening, but all is well otherwise. 6 Lings on the way to deal with the Adept when she shows up. And to deal with this probe, which is a little bit overkill, but hey, what do you do otherwise? And then a third base is going to go down here for Lambo, I'm pretty sure. Once this probe is out of the way. There we go. Coming on down. Doesn't quite have the resources for it quite yet. About 200 minerals to 40. And let's go for the 300. There it is. Bam! Third base at about 237. Adept is cruising on out here. Going to go ahead and try to save this probe. Now, Lambo, there we go. If he was smart, I said, he's going to pull back because he recognizes that the Adept is on the way. And an Adept can kill a large number of unupgraded Zerglings, especially if they don't have speed as one of those upgrades. A couple of Lings do make it in here, though. That's a nice little run by Lambo. Sneaks them on in to the main base. Oh, is he going to scout that Twilight Council? Scouts the Twilight Council and the robotics facility. This is massive. This is a massive win for Lambo here. He recognizes exactly what the build is from PtitDrogo. That is not as easy to do. The Adept got a kill before forced to retreat here, as, again, those Lings were not back here to defend. The Lings were up here, causing really annoying problems. And oh, the Dark Shrine. All right, so these are likely just going to be for Archons. Archon, Warp Prism, drop style stuff here. Did wait until the Ling was dead to throw down that Dark Shrine, so it could be Dark Templar, but that's kind of more of a hit and miss thing. The Archon play is definitely more guaranteed to get some damage and be able to get away, right? That's the thing, is Dark Templar, either they kill a ton of stuff or they go in there and they die. They're not fast enough to retreat from anything, really. Although with Warp Prisms, it might be a little bit easier to keep them alive. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on what PtitDrogo is going for here. Is he going to throw down... Oh, just the Warp Prism. Thought for a second he might go for an Observer first, but... Nope, definitely just going for the Warp Prism here. Additional gateways, double base, now taking third and fourth gases, which implies it's not going to be any kind of a charge lot style attack. And the Lings are heading out here. I still find it interesting that these little dog things are part of the map and not doodads or not critters. So you can't target them to kill them, but they can't die to splash damage just like the trees can, right? You can't target fire the trees to kill them, but if you like roast some drones up here with Hellions and the fire catches the trees, they will burst into flame as well. Alright, so the Zergling says, oh, there's a Warp Prism cruising on out here. I guess I could make some roaches. My Roach Warren is just about done. The timing here looks pretty fantastic out of Lambo, and that's one of the things that impresses me most about these Zerg players is they can drone, and then at the exact moment they need something, it's ready for them, right? They didn't need it before this point, but now they need roaches, so they're going to do them. Dark Templar into Archons. There it is. And yeah, there's going to be roaches. There are going to be 7 roaches out here. There's an observer, just in case, or overseer rather, just in case there are just in case there are some of these Dark Templars showing up to join the party. But yeah, it's just, I mean, that Overlord probably going to die, but otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen here. The roach count is too high. The Queen's hacking away at this Warp Prism. Does drop in the mineral line and try to kill some stuff, getting those drones out of there. Some of them are blocked by their own roach buddies, and 4 drones do go down. It's more than I thought. Lambo showing up at the front door of PtitDrogo's base. Nope, that's a wall with a Stalker. Hard to break through that. However, the third base is a little bit less protected. Nicely done positioned on those Adepts, though. This is exactly why they're here, in case a bunch of Lings show up. That's not very good for Lambo at all. Attacking towards the third base. Now that Warp Prism is extremely injured. Oh, the splash damage. Oh, the splash on those drones. 13 drones have gone down. 17 drones have gone down. This is one of the most effective Archon drop harassments I've ever seen on my channel. That was disgusting. Out of PtitDrogo. Well played, good sir. Observer did follow up the Warp Prism and is going to sit here at the front in observation mode and just make sure that he knows exactly what is going on the other side of the map. Now, so we're 3 base to 3 base in it. It's 48 to 49 workers. Lambo had a massive, massive lead, but now does not. That Archon has 17 kills to it. 17. That is a hero Archon if ever there was one. Warp Prism abusing the fact that the roaches are slow and can't really get up here fast enough to stop anything. Oh, they found some drones hiding. What are those guys doing down there? I guess maybe they're trying to expand, but nope. Not going to happen. The roaches do manage to make it up here because the Warp Prism stopped to kill those drones, but the problem is for Lambo, he cannot get a 4th base down. He is not throwing one down here at all. He can afford to do so, but he's just choosing not to. I guess Baneling Nest on the way here. Yeah, I mean, so far so good here from PtitDrogo. I really just don't see... I mean, it's 50 resources lost for the Protoss, and it is literally 1,624 for Lambo. That is just brutal. That is 18 drones, 14 Lings, a Roach, and 2 Overlords for a probe that got killed in this game. A probe. Still doing stuff, by the way. Archons. Still getting damage done. Roach is mitigating a lot of that in that situation. Hey, actual DTs. Where's your detection? Oh, gosh. This is just the worst. Okay, well, all right. Just going to start one-shotting drones here. Whack, whack. And the main base going after some of these roaches, which doesn't seem like as good of a deal here. Again, guaranteed damage is where it's at. You want to kill as many drones as you can to get some hacks off on some roaches. It doesn't kill them, doesn't hurt you as much as it turns out. The Archons are still doing damage here in the third base. The DT's finally getting cleaned up here inside the natural. Oh my gosh, 13 kills and 21 kills. Oh! The 21 kill Archon does go down. The Warp Prism gets picked off here too. All right, if Lambo's going to win this game, that is where it starts. That is it right there. He managed to kill the Warp Prism. Both of the Archons, it doesn't matter. He taps out. What? And Lambo is defeated. PtitDrogo takes the win in game number 1, just harassing Lambo to death. How many people are in this lobby? Many, many people. Yeah, I mean, that's just, you kill 43 drones in the first 8 minutes of a game. You're up 66 to 44 workers. You're just going to win, I guess. I mean, PtitDrogo, what was his army? At the end of the game, 3 Immortals, an Archon, 2 Adepts, High Templar. Is he working on Storm? Not working on Storm, but really just going for, I don't know. Army supply is about the same here. I don't know. Lambo didn't have the bank for it. PtitDrogo did. PtitDrogo had a bunch of money here ready to build stuff with, no problem. 3 base to 3 base, and yeah, that 21, the 21 kill Archon. I don't know if I've ever seen an Archon get that much damage done. Crikey, amazing, amazing, amazing play. All right, so game 1 does go to our friendly neighborhood Protoss PtitDrogo here, getting the win without really ever sending an army across the other side of the map. Lambo got nothing done on the other side. Resources lost here, sure. It was the 2 Dark Templar and the 2 Archons and the Warp Prism that went down, but they paid for themselves many times over. And PtitDrogo takes the game 1 win. All right, let's get back here with game number 2. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 is here on Port Alexander. Did I turn off the music? I certainly did. Top left-hand corner is the Blue Zerg player Lambo. He is German. He is not up 1-0, but he is down 1-0. And in the bottom right-hand corner is the red Protoss player, PtitDrogo. All right, so Port Alexander, one of my favorite maps. I just like it a lot. Lots of trees, lots of boxes, lit up by lights for no reason. Check this out. Yeah, like this. Like this. See? See how there's a spotlight on one box and a spotlight on another box? I have no idea why that's there, but just Just the map maker saying, hey, check out these boxes. Aren't they cool? And yes, they are, Mr. Map Maker. All right, man. PtitDrogo harassed Lambo to death in game number 1. You don't see that very often at the highest levels of StarCraft 2, but sometimes you do. Ugh, that hurt my little Zerg heart, I can tell you that much. Anyway, what are we looking at here? It is going to be a hatch first play from Lambo to an extractor to a pool as soon as he has the resources to do so. There it is, extractor and pool. Yeah, so about a 17 there. Did get the hatch down pretty darn early. There's no probe up there to knock things down this time around. PtitDrogo doesn't feel the need to try to block it. He's just going to go for the 1 gate expand. No cyber core first here. Just going for the gateway expand, which means he feels confident that he won't need to wall off here anytime soon against Lambo. A little bit harder to hold if you go for that expansion first. And then the cyber core, and it's like a 12 pool, then the links show up and they can really give you a hard time. But he's just gambling that it's not anything to worry about. Lambo is not going to go for the 12 pool here, and in fact, he is not. Now the probe moving on out, and at this point, I mean, it just comes down to Lambo had the right units. He had the roaches, he had the queens, he had the spore crawlers up to go ahead and deal with the Archon War Prism, but it just wasn't enough. He wasn't in the right place at the right time, and I know that feeling too. I've been there with roaches, and they're just so slow until they have speed, and if your bases aren't quite connected with creep, it's even worse, and they weren't for Lambo in game number 1, and then just bad things happen to you over and over again. It kind of snowballs into where you don't have as many workers as you need, so you can't make the army that you want to deal with this, and overall, just a bad time. Third base going to go down here at about 2.5 minutes here. Lambo sending his drone down a little bit early. Yeah, that probe's going to die. No saving it. Nice juking, but you're toast right about now. Lambo goes for the third base. Oh, actually, you know what? Goes for a couple drones first. Oh, ho, ho. He faked it. He faked that third base. He made PtitDrogo think he was going for the third and said, you know what's better? A 2-base roach attack here. He's going for the lair. I would not be surprised to see a Rotorn go down fairly soon here. PtitDrogo does not know about this. He is not aware the third base didn't actually go down. He's assuming that it is. He's making some assumptions in this game. I don't know if that's going to be good for him. He is making an Oracle, which is going to help scout and get some damage done. Oracle's name is Reaper Name, a famous character that is sentenced to be a Protoss Oracle. This being is also custom designed to confuse Falcon Paladin's naming search system as much as possible. And by golly, it did. I believe I read most of that as part of a Reaper Name a few weeks ago, but it's definitely an Oracle name, just Reaper Name. Adept comes in. Hang on, the Adept didn't check for the presence of a third base. Oh, snap. Did see the double gas, though. Did you catch both those gas? No! Oh, no! Didn't check both gas. Oh, boy. PtitDrogo is in a world of hurt here. Why on earth is this Oracle? The Oracle is just providing vision for the Stalker to try to kill that Overlord. That does not seem to be the best use for your skills there, Mr. Reaper Name. Alright, well, time to cruise on out now. I mean, at some point, PtitDrogo has to know there's not a third base there. I don't think at this point he does. Infestation Pit. Hold your horses. What the what? 2-base, 4-gas Infestation Pit with a lair. This is going to be Locusts. That's going to be Swarm Hosts. It very well could be. There's double Oracle here too now. That seems utterly problematic right now. Alright, so double Oracle going to try to come on in. There are a bunch of queens at the natural base, though. That's a problem. And a queen and a spore at the main. Now look, third base. Not a third base. Haha, surprised you. And it's going to be a Nidus. Nidus Swarm Host. Holy crap. 3 queens, though. Pretty good on the uptake there. And that Oracle's toast. Goodbye, Reaper Name. Now 1 Oracle to deal with. Not that bad. 4 drones go down. But for 1 Oracle, it's a pretty fair trade, I'm going to say here. All right, so PtitDrogo, and then the scout comes up here too, right? Ends up scouting the Infestation Pit, ends up scouting the Nidus network. Did fly over the Nidus, really no question about that. Now, does PtitDrogo hold here is the question. Does he see what's coming? He's got a third base, which doesn't really help hold against this kind of a thing, as there are already 7 Swarm Hosts on the way. Where's your Nidus coming up? There it is. Nidus coming up right back here in this corner. It is hidden. The Oracles are looking for it. The Oracles are looking for this thing. I don't think they're going to find it. This is a huge play from Lambo. He can't afford to have it spotted. And here we go. Everybody out. Queens here. Sorry for the Discord noise. I thought I had that on mute. on streamer mode, and I thought I did. Either way, Loka's getting in here, and you know what? Getting burned up a little bit by the Oracles, too. So 2 probes go down. Queen's fighting at the 3rd base. The Oracles are trying to take down the... Well, actually going to try to take down the Nidus, but additional Queen showing up here. Creep Tumor does get down, which is kind of a huge deal. But then everybody goes home, and the Nidus network dies. I don't know if that was enough damage. I really don't. Another Nidus coming on up here at the 4th base-ish location from PtitDrogo. Once again, does not get spotted. This one does. This one forward does. This one does not. Another round of Locusts are going to show up here, and the Oracles are not here to help out with that. Is there enough stuff back home to help is the question. The Oracles recognizing if the Queens are up here, then what's going to stop us from coming in here and murdering everything? Well, I guess the Queens can immediately be back home. That is such a good play. This is such a good thing to happen right now as Locust flying on in. Lambo going for the Nexus, going for that big ball of non-guaranteed damage, but he gets it. He gets it anyway. Depowers, woo! Depowers all of this stuff with that Artosis Pylon. Beautiful stuff there. Did you know that Idra actually coined the term Artosis Pylon? It's hilarious. I didn't know that. Somebody posted in the Discord. Speaking of which, I do have a Discord server, link in the description. But somebody in Discord actually posted the video for the history of the Artosis Pylon, and Idra was the one that coined the actual term. Oh, crap. No, Lambo. These guys cannot be here. Desperation Locust getting tossed down, chasing stuff away. That's what I'm talking about. Chasing stuff away. No, don't engage. Why would you engage with this? They're just going to expire anyway here. Oh, no. The creep does make them go faster. Going after some probes here before you expire. Not bad. 3 or 4 probes go down, and Immortal taking serious hits. Actually, that was a hallucinated Immortal, wasn't it? That really was. Army supply 93 to 23 for Lambo, but a lot of that is the Swarm Hosts. And PtitDrogo's on 3 bases, technically. He is replacing his natural base here. It's just a lot of Lings on the way right now, and anytime the army comes in close, a bunch of Locusts spawn. Not all of them. You notice Lambo was not spawning all of his Locusts, just a handful that he needs to keep PtitDrogo away. Another Nidus comes up along this left side here. They really want to kill those Immortals, but they're so fast. And that's it. Good game. Lambo takes game number 2, ties up the series. 1-1 like a boss. Nicely done. And again, it came down to PtitDrogo not scouting that 3rd base, not recognizing that this wasn't here until it was too late. And then the response time was not as good. The Nidus managed to hide down here before. I mean, if PtitDrogo could have seen it, then it would have been shut down for sure. But nope, did not happen. Lambo managed to sneak that down, and then just Nidus swarms all over the place. Nidus, Swarm Host, Nidus. Resources lost here, 4,000 for PtitDrogo and only 1,700 for Lambo. So really turning the tides in that game. PtitDrogo got a little bit complacent, did not scout properly, and as a result, Lambo gets game number 2. 1-1. Let's come back with even more StarCraft. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to our best of 5 and the Sunday series, everybody. 1-1, Lambo and PtitDrogo back here on King's Cove, the ladder edition. Bottom right-hand corner, PtitDrogo. Top left-hand corner, Lambo. All right, so game number 1, harassment to death. Gave PtitDrogo a 1-0 lead over Lambo, and then Lambo said, hey, I can do that too with Swarm Hosts. Well, I'm not sure if it's harassment if you lose a base, but I don't know. I feel like that's up for debate. We're going to probe scout this time, PtitDrogo. I kind of feel like you should. Yes. Hold on. This is not a probe scouting path. This is a proxy path. Bum, 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 bada, bum, bum, bada, bum, bum, bada, bum, bum, bum. Is that what it was? I don't know, man. Singing is just off the charts for me right now. It's not very good. All right, probe. So never mind. It just go around a little bit, strangely enough, then came in the front door. I guess there are multiple ways to show up here. It's not really that big of a deal. Extractor pool. Nothing, no pool first here from Lambo for PtitDrogo to worry about. Therefore, he shall throw down the Nexus before Cybernetics Core, as he's done pretty consistently this game. Or this series. Hey, did you know? I've got merch. Search Falcon Paladin and Shopify. It is spelled just like it sounds in your Google machine, and you will find all sorts of stuff. Jackets and shirts and mugs and whatnot. Check it out. In addition, there is the Falcon Paladin Hour, a weekly podcast where Somicron and I talk about things like, well, Game of Thrones, which by now there should be a podcast up talking about my thoughts about the series finale of Game of Thrones. In addition, WCS Winter, no, Spring Thoughts, as those just wrapped up, and should be a pretty good time. So go ahead and hit that Falcon Paladin into your podcast app, whatever it is, whether it's Apple, whether it's Beyond Pod or Pocket Casts or anything you've got. We are there. Podcasts exist pretty much everywhere on the internet these days. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Ooh, and one more thing to plug. I do always forget about this, but there is a monthly Falcon Paladin circuit tournament played with people that are part of the Discord group. You don't actually technically have to be in the Discord, but it helps you to find out more information about it if you join the Discord server. So join the Discord server, hop in, ask somebody for help with how to sign up for Fire's Foul Pal monthly circuit, I believe is what it is. There's too many names. I have a hard time keeping it straight. You can sign up and play against people like me and 0-0 and Firebird, Fatty plays, Somicron's in there. I mean, all sorts of people that you are familiar with, and just a really fun time is what it is. Somebody come dethrone Fire. He set up the tournament and he's won it every time so far. So somebody take that guy down, please. Just a couple notches. That's all I'm asking. Third base here for Lambo Adept, cruising on up to see what is going on. And the answer is a third base. Hey, look, good scout this time. By that I mean, yes, just barely scouting that. There are lings here and there's a queen here, and the Adept is not going to finish that shade. There's no reason for her to do so. She just heads on home. That's a good scout. Scout timing makes perfect sense. No concerns whatsoever. Oracle is on the way. Oracle's name is Reaper Name Generator. Tired of relying on the comments for Reaper names. Falcon Paladin programmed the Reaper Name Generator using deep learning and AI stuff. The Reaper Name Generator took the data from the previous Reaper names to come up with new names instead. However, the Reaper Name Generator instantly went insane for the number of obscure pop culture references and bad fourth wall breaking jokes. It stuffed itself into an Oracle to take out its rage on worker units. Now Falcon Paladin must live with the fact that he didn't even get a Reaper name out of it. True, brutal stuff, yo. Ling Scout, kind of like this from Lambo. Ling Scout can see what's up. Trying to see, is there a third base down here? There's definitely not one there. Maybe poking on over this area now if you want to see what's up there. But Double Oracle coming on in. And Double Oracle can spell trouble if all you have is one queen and one spore. And I think this is going to be trouble. So here we go. Queens fighting, man. 2 oracles will fight queens. Look at them go here. But 3 queens, a little bit too much there. Ooh, getting some free shots off on drones up here at the third base, too. So not too bad. Got a couple queens. I mean, not game-ending damage there, but did force a couple spores at that third base location. Lambo does not have anything defending his main base except for a spore, which seems like it's not enough. Hydralisk Den on the way. I do love my Hydralisks. And yeah, so far so good. I mean, really no complaints about PtitDrogo's play thus far. He's working on a Twilight Council. If he's going to deal with Hydralisks, it really needs to be, at this point, probably looking at Storm. Probably looking at Disruptors if you're into that kind of a thing. Zergs are not good at splitting as your Terran counterparts are. That's for sure. Oracles swing back in. Remember what I said about the main base being unprotected except for a single spore? Yeah, that's definitely the case. Lambo does not have anything over here that can shoot up whatsoever. The Oracles kind of dodge in to see what's up, and hey, all right, we'll get some more damage done here. No big deal. 6 more drones go down at this stage of the game is absolutely massively destructive for Lambo's ability to macro here. He's making 6 more workers, but he could have been so far up. PtitDrogo's got a third base here. Lambo does not have even the makings of a 4th base, nor the resources to do so. I mean, he's going for all the upgrades. He's now throwing down a 4th. There it is. All right. Making me wrong. I understand how that works. It's all good here. It's all good in the hood. Lings cruising back and forth. And yeah, it's going to be Immortals. It's going to be Charged. So Charge Lot Immortal here. Lingbane Hydra actually not bad against Charge Lot Immortal. Just because if you have the Banelings, you can really just absorb the heck out of those Zealot attacks. As one of the Oracles does get picked off there. Again, a bunch of drones have gone down here though. 10 total have gone down. We got Hallucinated Phoenix cruising in, but not doing any damage. And that should be enough to tell Lambo these are just scouting. Interesting he made 2 Phoenix instead of the 1. Maybe it was an accident. I don't know that you need 2 here, especially if you're just sending them on the same attack path or same scouting path. But yeah, there's your Storm. This is what I'm talking about here. So Storm can really ruin your day. Lingbane Hydra is fantastic against this whole Immortal Charge Lot thing, but if you get Storm into the mix, then suddenly you have to dodge Storms. You got to split against those. You try to maybe pick off the High Templar with Banelings from any direction that you can that's not straight on, because they'll be waiting for that. And overall is not feeling good, I don't think, for Lambo here. He's making his Hydras. He's getting the upgrades for those guys. Centrifugal Hooks is on the way now. Oracle's still doing stuff. Got 8 kills, Reaper Name Generator does. Not too shabby, honestly. Reflection on the water showing quite nicely there. Very beautiful. Very beautiful design. Storm is done. Ground Weapons level 1 is also done. 4th base warping in for PtitDrogo. 6 o'clock position. 4th base from Lambo is done. He is up 76 to 67 workers right now. That's insanely good. And he has this army of Hydras. So his macro has been kind of through the roof right now, despite the fact that he has lost a bunch of drones at really important times. But Lings are coming in. They're going to be Banelings, I have to imagine. Overseer scouts in to see what's going on. Does get a pretty good idea of what the play is here. Sets up on the high ground in Overseer mode. Oversight mode, I think is what that's called there. And Archon's getting in the mix here too. Archon's not as good against Hydras as they want to be, but really good against Banelings. So if you can force your opponent to explode your Banelings onto the Hydras or onto the Immortals, you're going to be in a great place. If, however, the Banelings can make hits on some of these Zealots or the High Templar, it's a much better situation for the Zerg. It really comes down to Baneling connections, where they connect and how they connect. Army supply is dead even. 72 to 70 right now in favor of the Protoss player, trying to sneak up onto this creep. 4th base warping in. Lambo really hasn't been able to put any pressure on PtitDrogo this entire time. And here we go. This is our attack, man. Zealots coming on in. Baneling's getting some decent hits there. Storms all over the place, though. But Baneling's getting beautiful connections. Not many Zealots remaining. The Hydra count is enough to handle this. And wow, Lambo, in just a second there, takes down both the Immortal and the Archon. The entire army of PtitDrogo gets wiped out there. Oracle gets additional kills there while everybody was busy. 14 drones have been killed, but it's 75 to 69 workers. Army supply is 68 to 27 right now. Lambo has a massive army supply lead, trying to warp in some High Templar to deal with this, but they don't have Storm available yet. You almost have to make into Archons, but is that a good idea? I don't know. Charge Lot's pretty darn good against Hydras. As we can see right here, just charging right on in. The Banelings, they need to finish for Lambo to really make this thing happen. Banelings pop it on in, pop, pop, pop. Additional Banelings here too. Some incredible storms are going to happen to make this thing turn out to a victory. No. Decent Baneling hits there on the Zealots. More charging on in, forcing the Zealots back. They're trying to attack, but nice splash damage on that. A lot of those Zealots were warping in and taking extra damage during that warping, and that's your good game, Lambo. Lambo ends up taking it. Going up 2-1 here versus PtitDrogo. Fantastic display. That engagement, that was it. That one engagement, he was able to get Baneling shots on everything. Wiped out most of the Zealots. The Hydralisks were able to split fairly effectively, able to storm dodge to a certain effect there. Engaging on creep might have been a mistake from PtitDrogo, but sometimes you got to put the pressure on anyway. And yeah, the Hydras really knew what they were up to. They had a +1 attack, they had range, they had speed. Those are the upgrades that were necessary, and those are the ones that basically gave Lambo the win. I mean, it was an even army supply, and then after that, it was like 76 to 23 army supply. It was tons of dead stuff from PtitDrogo. 10,000 resources lost to 6,800 for our Zerg player. So GG so far. I mean, Lambo only needs one more game to win this thing. It did not look good after game number 1, where he looked a little bit sloppy in defending that harassment. Maybe he's just kind of getting back into the groove of things here. Needed a warm-up game to really show what he was capable of. So we'll see what happens in game number 4. Is PtitDrogo going to go home after this, or can he force an all-important game number 5? Don't know. Stick with me, and we will find out together. All right, do or die time here for PtitDrogo. Top right-hand corner on year 0, the ladder edition. It's our Protoss player, and in the top left, his enemy. It is Lambo. All right, Lambo started off 0-1. Won 2 games in a row, which is pretty good for best of 5. Winning 2 games in a row at best of 5 puts you in a very, very good position, no matter what. Hello, Amon. How are we doing today? Feeling shy, are we? A bit, yes. Just so malevolent. Just so out there, trying to murder people. Okay, so none of these first 3 games have lasted longer than 10 minutes. I want to say It's been 2-base Swarm Host. It's been 2-base Harassment. It's been, that last game, just more of like a 2-3 base attack. They got absolutely crushed by Lambo, and the counterattack wouldn't hold, and don't know. It's been some really fairly short games here. For exciting games, to be sure. A lot of stuff going on. But I'm not sure if this one's going to be a bit longer or what. I don't know. And for those of you who were like, Falcon, there's plenty of time left here. Obviously, we get a game 5. I don't know that. You don't know that. I will absolutely put my spoiler screen on there to give you an extra 10 or 15 minutes of screen time that doesn't exist. So you think there's a 5th game, but there's not. This could very well just be a Lambo 3-1 victory, which would be pretty darn impressive considering he lost game number 1. What a reversal that would be. But I know, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is possible here. All right, very good. No Probe Scout, again, from PtitDrogo, and same build. Gateway into Expansion, into Cybercore, and then sends the probe out to Scout here. Nothing too nuts out of Lambo either. He refuses to go pool first against his Protoss opponent, perhaps recognizing that PtitDrogo is a very, very good Protoss player. Hard to get a lot of stuff done with a 12 pool. You can kind of sneak one around a Terran player because they don't wall off. At least not in the early stage. You can knock down their command center, whereas it's harder for 4-lings to do anything about this Nexus, even if they're allowed to hammer on it for a good amount of time. So anyway, Lambo is going to go ahead and get a 3rd base here after he goes for his queens. There we go, queen, and once he gets speed up and running too, as does he have the gas for it? He does now, and gets speed up immediately. Probe. Checking things out, saying, hey, is anybody coming out of here? Any lings possibly? There, by golly, are. 2 lings are here. Let the races begin. Wants to see if there's a 3rd base coming up here, first of all. This probe is fully willing to sacrifice his own life. Ooh, and actually blocking off that attempt at a 3rd base here from Lambo. Lambo might very well just, throw it up here. This is not that bad of a place for a 3rd. Honestly, it's not. What the heck is... Oh, right. That's where the minerals have popped up. And this looked like some kind of a creature for a second. But it definitely wasn't. PtitDrogo is working on the Stargate. He has Stargate open to pretty much every match so far today, I want to say. Is he, maybe not game 1. Game 1, I don't think he did. But games 2 and 3, he definitely went for the Stargates, went for the Oracles, got more stuff done in some than the others. And it is an Oracle again. So this Oracle's name is 343 Guilty Spark. After his untimely destruction by Master Chief, the Monitor of Ventilation 04 had its consciousness transferred to another physical shell. Sadly for him, the damage he sustained was so great that the restoration protocols malfunctioned, and he found himself transferred into the body of a Protoss Oracle in the Caprulu sector. The Monitor was already quite accustomed to being called Oracle by the Covenant, and so accepted his role as merely being in a new model of the Forerunner monitors. The Protoss assumed that when it spoke of Forerunners... when it spoke of Forerunners, it must be referring to the Xel'Naga, and the Monitor assumed when the Protoss spoke of Infestors and a virulent parasitic race, they must be referring to the Flood, as it was designed to destroy. Through a grand series of misunderstandings, Guilty Spark has volunteered to help them extinguish this infestation. Is there not a spore up here? Dang it. Come on, Lambo. Quite accustomed to firing laser beams to destroy Flood or any other species that gets in the way of its containment protocols. That's a good Oracle name right there. I'm assuming that's an Atwell name, but I'm not entirely sure. Another Oracle comes in here, and by golly, this 3rd base is not being mined from either at this point. I mean, might as well just burn down the spore? Sure, let's do it. We can do it. Bam, and the drone gets wiped out too. And actually trying to take out some of these eggs. Man, the damage done by Oracles is insanely good. 2 queens versus 2 oracles, enough to shove them away. Once again, the spore was laid in the main base. Some drones have gone down here. So far, a pretty darn great opening out of PtitDrogo. Hasn't lost anything at all. I mean, ended up losing... How did you lose 25 minerals? Must have canceled something, or... Boy, I'm trying to think of what that was. Got a refund on something along those lines. 3 queens defending against the attack into the 3rd base. The natural base doesn't have as much defenses, but we do have creep connecting the bases, and as a result, the response time should be pretty good. However, is it fast enough is the question. The 3 oracles cruising around here. No more in production. We just have the 3. Just enough to kind of throw Lambo off his game a bit. Swinging back on into the 3rd base. More and more drones getting picked off here. That is 10 that have been killed so far. But again, Lambo has really shown the ability to kind of shrug this amount of damage off. Oracle damage is not enough to really kill him, whereas the Archon stuff with DTs definitely was. So I'm really surprised that PtitDrogo has not tried going for that strategy again. It worked so well in game number 1, and he's like, we're good. we're totally good. Gonna take the third base here. Gonna do Oracle stuff. Fourth base from Lambo would be nice. He's got an infestation pit coming up next of all here too. And an observer cruising on in to see what is up in Zergland, or in the land of the Flood, according to Guilty Spark. Very excited. Oh, one Oracle gets picked off there. That might have been Guilty Spark there. Very excited for the Halo Remastered Collection to actually make it onto PC. I'm going to be playing that on Twitch for sure with Somicron. Both of us are pretty big Halo fans. He is a bigger one than I am, I want to say, but just the first gaming console I ever owned for myself was an Xbox One. And it came with Halo Combat Evolved, like the first Halo game, and I played that so much with my roommates. Went through the campaign. Just so many good memories with that game. The music, I think, might be the best part of it. The combat is good. The levels do get a little bit repetitive. The enemies also. But, man, I had a good time with it regardless, and really excited to kind of revisit that one, especially Halo 2 and 3, also very good games. Beyond that, I haven't actually played any more Halos, so I'm just wondering what those will be like, and pretty excited to get there with Somicron. Ooh, we're going for Swarm Host again. Swarm Host Nidus again. Oh, the Observer. The Observer found it, and the Oracles are ready to burn that sucker down. Do they need to is the question. There we go. Starting a little bit late, but the damage output is insanely good. And bam. I think he might have let that finish just to see what would come out so we could kill it, but Lambo was too smart for that. Man, where else do you throw down a Nidus? Down here, it would seem. Oh, once again, finding this one. One does erupt. A little bit further away, but hey, that's fine, I guess. So PtitDrogo very much on top of these Nidus Swarm eruptions. Oh, that Immortal. Free Immortal is free Immortal. Get in there. Take it down. Take down stuff. Sentry focus down. Stalker's getting hit here too. Zealots get eaten alive by Locust. That was a massive hit that PtitDrogo took there. Can he take down this Nidus is the question. This one never actually managed to come up. This one is alive, and there are Lings coming out to help against the Immortals and the Stalkers. Lings pretty darn good stuff here, and by golly, this is looking more and more like a repeat of game number 2 here with Lambo. Just going for mass Swarm Host play with the Locusts getting tossed down everywhere here. Unfortunately, their home has been destroyed a little bit, and these Swarm Hosts are in a little bit of trouble here. That Nidus Swarm is going to go down too. The Locusts come down and try to focus down this Nexus. Can they get it this time? No, not with Archons defending. Not with the Archons defending it at all. Thank you very much. There we go. The Swarm Hosts do manage to disappear into the Nidus Swarm. Most of them do. Anyway, some of them do end up getting killed. That was a very close call. That was almost the instant death of all of the Swarm Hosts. Another one coming up here. 3-base Swarm Host is a little bit more effective than I think 2-base would be. But the Archons doing work. Knocking down their own Cyber Core to get out of here, which is kind of... I guess it's better than the Warp Gate at this stage from PtitDrogo. Lambo's getting a 4th base rather down the left side. Army supply is 106 to 57 right now, but again, a lot of this is Swarm Hosts, and the Swarm Hosts are not good for about 41 seconds at a time here between launches. Zealots getting into the main base, charge lots, causing some major problems inside the main. 8 drones have gone down. Several more are getting killed here at the same time. The Locust not doing as much damage as they would like to at the 4th base, just with the Archons here taking down additional pylons, trying to take out maybe a couple Archons in the present, but by golly, the Zealots are not really being dealt with. There are some spine crawlers here at the 3rd, and some Roaches and Locusts do manage to wipe the ones out at the main base. Can these guys take down the 3rd is the question. They do have +1 attack. Drones are fighting. Transfusers are trying to help the hatchery, but no! It does end up going down. A bunch of the Zealots end up getting killed there too, but some of them are picked up and evacuated there. So nice victory for PtitDrogo in that instance, taking the 3rd base down, taking down a bunch of drones. It is 73 to 41 workers right now. The problem is the Swarm Host group is huge. The Swarm Hosts need to take down a base, is what they have to do here. They've been very cute. But a bunch of them are forced to deal with... Okay, so Archon's getting trapped and killed. That's a major victory there. Chasing everybody back, going after a Warp Gate. Not quite sure where they want to engage right now. Cannons getting focused down. Probes taking some shots here too. Cannons are down, but that's really most of the damage being taken here. 5 probes too, 6 probes too. And eventually all the Locusts are destroyed. But meanwhile, more Zealots coming on in. PtitDrogo will not merrily defend. He is on the warpath now, trying to hold here. That Nexus is still alive. That's a huge deal, but these guys are ready to rock. The Swarm Hosts don't have any attack upgrades at all. They've been spotted. They've been spotted by an Immortal and some Archons. Going to go ahead and pop some of their locusts, actually all of their locusts, to force them away. And the further away you can force the locust to pop, the better it is for you. Oh, and some DTs wander into the mix here too. Where's your detection? There isn't one. Are they going to take down the natural base? Meanwhile, the locust doing terrible damage on the other side here too, taking out a lot of Immortals. Bunch of probes coming down. DT hacking, one hacking those guys to the hatch does go down at the natural base. Third base was never replaced here. Lambo is down to 41 workers and effectively no mining bases. Okay, he has a mining base right now, but he does have the army supply to win this game. 136 to 43 on the army supply. But again, Swarm hosts have a hard time winning their games on their own because of the 41-second cooldown over here, which means they're useless for the majority of the game. Just overall here, oh, a Void Ray is a brilliant stroke of genius here out of PtitDrogo. So good against Swarm Host. That bonus damage versus Armored comes into play with a prismatic alignment. Locust cruising on in. I think they're going to take down this Nexus, but is it just too little too late is the question. Why are you going back? What are you doing? Trying to, not quite sure what they want to do here, and as a result, I think the Nexus is going to live. DTs are in the mix here. Oh, that was huge, forcing these locusts into a state of confusion. What do we even want to do with our lives, they say? We don't know. Our guidance counselors misled us. Oh, they could have taken down that Nexus, but they absolutely did not do it because they were trying to save their Swarm hosts. Oh, what an amazing, amazing play there. That was just ridiculous stuff. Another base on the way from PtitDrogo. Lambo is replacing his natural as best he can. Another Nidus erupts. Perhaps a bit of a... I was going to try to save this one here, too. The Queen does get lifted up. Oh, and everybody goes back into the Swarm host, but not everybody can, and some of us are stuck outside. Another wave of locusts. They finally take down the third base Nexus there. PtitDrogo loses that one. More charge lots and DTs inside the main base, hacking away at everything. Dark Templar just going willy-nilly right now. The Roach Ravager army can handle the DTs quite nicely. These guys ready to go? No, not ready. Not quite yet. 5 kills, 3 kills, 1 kill, 0 kills, 4 kills, 5 kills on these Swarm hosts. If they can take down the natural base, that'd be a major victory here, but the Void Rays are a major problem as nothing here can shoot up whatsoever. The Swarm hosts are like, maybe we launch an escape. This might be a launch and escape style situation. Where are you even going right now? I don't know. More DTs wandering on up into the natural base. Where the heck is your detection? How do you not have... Wait, you do. Where is it? Oh, there's the Overseer. So there is an Overseer there. Void Rays. Oh, your escape home is toast right now. Spore Crawler's getting focused. Mass Void Ray, pretty good against Mass Storm Host. As it turns out, Storm also very good here too. I think PtitDrogo might have the recipe and the pieces that he needs to win this thing. Ah, the Storm is so great against these light units, just really obliterating them before they can kill too much stuff here. And army supply still favoring Lambo quite effectively, but I just need to say it again, the Swarm hosts are not that good for a lot of the time here. It's 134 to 114 supply. Look at the supply, yes, but it's misleading right now. Stats can be misleading. Oh, the Swarm hosts get caught in a bit of a corner here. They're forced to retreat. The Void Rays are chasing them down. They're getting picked off everywhere. There's nowhere for them to flee, and that is your good game. PtitDrogo does end up forcing our game number 5 here on year 0. Does it by killing 29 Swarm hosts. He killed 29 Swarm hosts. At the end of the game, there were no Swarm hosts remaining. That was absolutely impressive out of PtitDrogo. And I think it was the offense that really made it work for him there, right? He saw the Swarm hosts, he saw the Nidus and said, I can't just defend against this. Just defending is suicide. So he started warping in charge lots into the main base and the natural base and the third base. Took down a couple hatcheries, brought in some Dark Templar to join the party there too. And just getting Storm, getting Void Rays, and getting Archons to deal with these Swarm hosts. It was a fantastic display of Protoss defense against something that's fairly hard to deal with. But the French guy, the French Protoss player, getting the win. Absolutely fantastic display there. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. Good game. Good game for sure. So we do get our game number 5 here. PtitDrogo gets the 2 next to his name. Lambo also has a 2, which means we're going to the rubber match. A phrase which we don't know the origin of, honestly. It's kind of a weird thing. So moving into game number 5. Who's going to come out on top? Let's hear it if you're cheering for Lambo. Let's hear it if you're cheering for PtitDrogo. And we'll be right back. Game 5. It's Game 5. It's Game 5 between Lambo and PtitDrogo here on Kairos Junction. Top left, Lambo. Bottom right, PtitDrogo. So very excited for this one. Game 5's people are desperate. People are holy smokes. Holy smokes, you guys. That is an extremely, extremely early probe. Oh, is it going to be a cannon rush? Come on, PtitDrogo, show us a cannon rush. And this Overlord sees the probe just for a couple of seconds there. And sends down the second Overlord just to make sure that there are no shenanigans going on. Okay, so it's a gateway. It's not a forge. The drone's like, alright, whatever. I'm going to throw down my natural here. No big deal. Bam. So for a second there, it looked maybe like it was going to be a cannon rush. A Game 5 and a best of 5 cannon rush? Oh! That just takes a lot of guts, man. There would be a lot of guts here out of PtitDrogo, but let's see. Let's see instead what it is going to be out of our Protoss player. Looking good, by the way, here. Winning that last game, it was an extremely, extremely good back and forth. A lot of dead stuff. That is always what makes these series the best. Lambo, no shenanigans whatsoever throughout this entire game series, with the exception, I gotta say, with the exception of that one time he faked a third base that PtitDrogo thought he was throwing down, so that was pretty cool. Really enjoyed that quite a bit. So yeah, I mean, this really looks like every other game in the series so far. I'm trying to think of what differences exist. I mean, once again, it was the expansion into the cybernetics core. From PtitDrogo, got a second gas up, got his pylon up here too. Nothing too crazy for him whatsoever. And Lambo looks like he is going to go ahead and make some queens before he throws out his third base at his natural position. And so far, so good. Next tech for the Protoss will tell us a lot of what he's planning to do here as the Adept Harass is going to begin. And there is a Twilight Council opening this time, so might go back to what got him here. What allowed him to win game number 1 here was that Archon Harass. No Stargate opening whatsoever. And it really does seem like Lambo's more comfortable dealing with Stargate openings than the other stuff. So maybe it makes sense for PtitDrogo to go back to this well in game number 5. See what he can get done with it. Man, is there these probe? That's a probe. That's an Adept. That is a shaded Adept who actually canceled the shade. That's interesting. I mean, I guess the probe got all the information. Well, I don't know. Didn't actually scout that base coming up here. Lambo is going for third base this time, but PtitDrogo does not have that information. Going to come back in again, second time with the Adept. I don't know if that was an intentional cancel or not. Seems possible it was. There's your robotics facility for the Warp Prism. And yeah, it's going to be Archon Harass, whether or not it's Archon Harass or DTs. Something along those lines. Could be Blinkstalker too. We don't see a lot of Blinkstalker against Zerg, but it is definitely an option based on the tech path that PtitDrogo has chosen here. Adept sees no additional gas, sees no Roach Warren, sees no Baneling Nest. That's a good scout. Good scouting Adept there for sure. Gets all the information necessary, and it is going to be the Dark Shrine. So it's going to be Archons, and it's going to be DTs, and I don't know if this is going to be a repeat of game number 1 or not. Lambo does seem like he does struggle a little bit against this very particular strategy, but maybe not every time. Maybe that was just a fluke. It was a one-off, right? That happens from time to time here. I do love that the Lings are patrolling back and forth, trying to see if a Warp Prism is moving out. And by golly, one will be moving out here fairly shortly. Additional Warp Gates coming on in. Taking the additional gas here, so definitely going to be some kind of an Archon play. Really need a lot of gas for those Archons. They are good units, but they are expensive to boot. Roach Warren coming up for Lambo a little bit earlier than last time, I feel like. But the Warp Prism moving out, and the vision is going to be here. So Lambo sees it. There you go. Sees it, follows it, and this is a way you can shut this down, is you can actually have Lings ready to go. Try to get some shots off on this stuff as it's warping in, because you can't warp in inside a Warp Prism. Seen this before. I've seen Serral do this before, and it's really effective. Right? You show up, you allow the Archons to start coming in, and then you hit them as they start coming in. But Lambo pulling back. Oh, he lost track of the Warp Prism. Right now, this is it. You show up right now, you go whack, 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 whack. You can actually hurt them quite a bit here as they're coming in. But Lambo not confident enough in his abilities to do that, and as a result, the Archons are at full HP as they move on in here. Any Roaches actually join the party yet? Nah, man, it's Lings and Queens right now. 4 Roaches On the way. Is it too late? Is the question. Where the heck did it go? Oh, here it is at the 3rd. Once again, the drones are the ones taking the brunt of the damage here out of these guys. The surround is good, but the pickup is better. Lings surrounding Archons is usually not bad. They're not that great against Archons, but they can just overwhelm them with numbers sometimes. But then when the pickup happens... Oh. All right, careful there. There's Queens here against your Warp Prism, good sir. 3rd base for PtitDrogo in the process. Lambo really should go for a 4th base of his own stage right now, but he is also worried about the charge lots getting in the mix here too. The roach count is increasing steadily. There's 2 of them, 2 drones at the same time. And the Queen's pulling back. See, this is the Queens need to focus down the Warp Prism, but no, one of them gets picked off there. Roaches against the Zealots is not even really a fair fight for the Zealots. Archons do take down another one of the Queens. And that Archon does get picked up just at the edge of the periphery. All the Queens are down. The anti-air is not a play anymore. That hurts. That's some really good focus fire from PtitDrogo, making sure that Warp Prism doesn't die. GG. Throwing up the Spore Crawler at the front to deal with an Observer. Roaches getting picked up here. They are pretty low on shields, and shields are pretty much all they have. So you don't want to lose those. Lambo making additional Roaches, and it seems like he's doing much better here than he was in game number 1 versus this same strategy. Exact same strategy? That's what I was trying to say. My brain was like, same? Is that a word? Could I say exame? No, you can't say exame. Stop making words up. Is not cool. Some Adepts warping in at the front. Sure, checking for a 4th base, and there's not one, or maybe denying a 4th base quite possibly. Roach count is insanely good here. That is just enough roaches to deal with those Archons as they come out. So PtitDrogo might be done with the harassment for now. We'll keep an eye on that. He's got Immortals back home. He's got a Templar Archives coming in here too. So far, so good from him. Roaches getting speed. I do like speed. Again, speed on anything makes it better than it was before. And is really, really important stuff. Especially, it's an RTS, okay? So it's real time, which means ability to move from point A to point B faster than your opponent is incredibly useful. That's the thing that's what Zerg is all about, is they have the ability to go from point A to point B very, very fast. Their units are squishy, but they have the speed to make up for it. Free Zealots. I mean, I guess they did kill a Zergling, which is not that great, but overall, pretty fair trade there. Adept's going to cruise on into the natural base and see what they can do. If the army's out on the map here, they can maybe get some harassment done that way. And by golly, they do come in. There's only a Queen here. We will take down some of your drones. Thank you very much. And here we go. Roach is coming from both sides right now. It is mass Roach, which means these 3 Immortals are going to be paying for themselves over and over again here. The Roaches are trying to get on top of the Immortals and crush them down, but the fancy Warp Prism Micro keeping them alive for way longer than they otherwise should be. The Zealots are dying. They're not the priority defense here. They're not meant to be kept alive by PtitDrogo. Oh, what a pickup. Last second pickup on these Immortals, trying to do what they can. The juggling is insane. Losing an Archon there. Probes fighting in here too. 7 kills, 8 kills, and 9 kills on those Immortals. A 14-kill Archon. Oh, the Archon gets picked off by a Corrosive Bile. 12 probes have been killed. The Immortals are refusing to die. Shield batteries helping them immensely here as well, and actually forcing this army back. Lambo with a Roach Ravager attack gets held by incredible micro from PtitDrogo. Bad rallies there from those Roaches for sure. Roach Ravager trying to get through this wall, depowering a couple warp gates in the process. Not too shabby. Reinforcements will not be forthcoming here at all. I cannot believe these Immortals are refusing to die here. Sometimes they are just more immortal than other times. I can tell you that much. 15 kills, 16 kills, 16 kills on these 3 Immortals, which has been here the entire time. How many Roaches is that each, I wonder? Come back. Come back. 51 Roaches have been killed in this game. And I gotta say, most of those are done by these Immortals for sure. Changelings getting wrecked out. Lambo going for a 4th base. That was a problem. He delayed his 4th base to go for that Roach Ravager attack. Tried to finish off PtitDrogo. Could not do it. Army supply is 57 to 43 right now in favor of the Zerg player. He's got a pretty decent size army here. And he has killed a bunch of stuff. Alright? I mean, the Immortals were immortal, but all the Archons and the Zealots and Stalkers and Sentries all died. I mean, let's not make any mistake there. Is that a probe scout or is that a proxy probe? What are you doing? Just, I guess maybe just wants to know if Lambo's going to take a 5th in that location. Or maybe a 4th in that location. Seems like that would be possible too. DTs scouting around to make sure there's no Zerg over here, and there's not. Swarm host again from Lambo. Lambo's like, alright, it worked once, it didn't work the other time. Boy, I don't know. Using Swarm Host in a defensive position is a really bad idea, actually. They're better, much better in offense because they do their one Swarm Hosts launch, and then suddenly the Protoss army steps back, and then there's 41 seconds where nothing is happening, and they just kind of march in and wipe it out. Offensively, they're great. Defensively, not so good. This DT is really trying to take down that 4th hatchery all by his lonesome. He's not going to get there. You're going to get close, though, is the thing. Is there any storm here? Not really. It's just the Immortals. That's what I'm talking about. The Locusts come down and do some serious work, taking down a couple of the Archons and a bunch of the Zealots, but now they're useless. Now they're dead supply. PtitDrogo knows he can actually march on in here and get this thing done in the time it takes for the Locusts to spawn again. Force fielding the ramp here. Reinforcements can't come down. The Immortals are just crushing every roach that joins the party here. They are just refusing to die. Another great warp in here. 15 drones have been killed. 18 drones have been killed. Look at these Swarm Hosts. Useless supply in this situation. And that is your good game. PtitDrogo is your winner of the 5-game series, getting it done in Game 5 in 11 minutes and 15 seconds. And yeah, Lambo came down to just that one mistake, I want to say. Just that one little mistake of making Swarm Hosts when your Protoss opponent was walking across the map to kill you. Oh, that was good. That was really, really, really good stuff there from PtitDrogo, recognizing, all right, hold on. So what you're saying is Locusts are here. They killed a bunch of my stuff, but the Swarm Hosts are a ton of supply and very expensive units that are going to be doing nothing for the next 41 seconds. And he marched right on in. I got to see how many kills those Immortals had. Hold on. But first, resources lost 13,000 from Lambo, only 9,000 from PtitDrogo. 88 roaches went down. Look at how many Immortals are in that unit's lost tab, you guys. Can you count them? It's 0. 0 Immortals died in that game. Good unit, everybody. Really, really good unit. There's your GG. Oh, no, come back. Dang it. There's the force field on the ramp. The Immortals are just putting in work, guys. The drones are trying to fight here. The Archon's chomping them alive for sure. All right, that's pretty much it, isn't it? There's your GG. Yeah, there it is. One more time. Whee! This will make you feel like the game went on longer than it did, doesn't it? What the f? Oh, no, I screwed it up. Hang on. Okay, this is it. This is the final scene here. Whew. All right, so no Immortals died. This guy has 22 kills. 25 here. 10, 15, 26, and 4. So the total number of kills in this game, there's 15 on that guy. One over here, he's new. What is the math here? 22 plus 25 is 47, plus 10 is 57, and that's going to be 60, 72 here, 72, 98, 98, and it's like 102. 100 total Zerg kills from these Immortals alone, and 115 if you want to count that Archon, other ones that have died here too. That is some pretty efficient stuff, guys. Immortal, good unit. Really, really, really good unit there. So, wow. All right. Well, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.